This morning, a 72-year-old woman did not wake up. Her name was Margaret. She lived a quiet life in a small town, loved her garden, and always smiled at the children walking past her fence. She wasn't ill, she wasn't suffering, but something went wrong. And sadly, it happened during the first few hours of her day. You see, after 70, our bodies do not forgive the same way they once did. Small choices, things we once brushed off as harmless, begin to carry weight. I have seen it again and again in my decades as a doctor. Morning routines can quietly turn into dangers, and unless we understand these risks, they may catch us off guard like they did Margaret. There are 4 common mistakes I see people over 70 make in the morning. They are subtle, but they can be deadly. Let me walk you through them, not just as your doctor, but as someone who cares deeply about every sunrise you are blessed to see. The first mistake happens right after waking. Many older adults sit up and get out of bed too quickly. I understand. You wake up, the sun is calling, the day awaits. But for someone over 70, this seemingly harmless act can be dangerous. When you rise too fast, your blood pressure can suddenly drop. This condition is called orthostatic hypotension. It leads to dizziness, lightheadedness, and falls. And those falls, they are not small incidents at this age. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 4 older adults falls each year. Falls are the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries among people over 65. A broken hip at 70 is not the same as it was at 40. Recovery is harder. Complications are more likely. And for some, that fall becomes the beginning of the end. So what can you do? You must slow down. When you wake, stay in bed for a minute. Take a few deep breaths. Wiggle your toes. Move your legs slowly. Sit up gently and pause on the edge of the bed. Let your blood pressure catch up with your body. Then when you feel steady, stand up with care. Keep a sturdy surface nearby. This simple change could save your life. The second mistake is skipping hydration. I cannot tell you how many times I have asked a patient, "How much water do you drink in the morning?" and heard the answer, "Oh, I'm not thirsty." Thirst becomes less reliable as we age. By the time you feel thirsty, your body may already be running dry. Overnight, even in sleep, you lose moisture. Through breathing, through sweat, through natural body processes. And if you start your day already slightly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker. Your heart has to work harder. Your risk of stroke increases. Studies have shown that mild dehydration in older adults is associated with increased hospitalizations and even higher mortality. A paper published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that dehydration was linked to higher rates of urinary tract infections, kidney stones, and confusion in seniors. Confusion, that quiet fog that creeps into the mind. It doesn't always mean dementia. Sometimes it's just a glass of water that was never drunk. Begin your morning with a full glass of water, not coffee, not juice, just water. Let it be the first thing you give your body. Before pills, before breakfast. You've gone 8 hours or more without fluid. That simple drink helps wake up your organs, supports digestion, and flushes out toxins. It tells your body, "We are beginning again, let's do this right." The third mistake is skipping breakfast or eating the wrong one. I know, appetite changes. Food doesn't always taste the same. You might not feel hungry right away, or you grab something quick and sugary, a muffin, a piece of toast with jam. But your body, especially over 70, needs real fuel. Your muscles are shrinking, even if you do not feel it. This process, called sarcopenia, is natural with age, but it accelerates if you do not feed your body properly. You need protein, you need fiber, you need stability in your blood sugar. Skipping breakfast or loading up on empty carbs can lead to a spike and crash in blood glucose. This throws off your energy, your mood, and even your memory. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that older adults who consumed higher protein breakfasts maintained better muscle strength and cognitive function over time. Think about that. The strength in your arms, the sharpness in your thoughts, all impacted by what you put on your plate each morning. Instead of sugary cereals or pastries, aim for something balanced. Scrambled eggs with spinach, a bowl of oatmeal with nuts and berries, Greek yogurt with seeds. Even a smoothie made with almond milk and protein powder can work. The point is to give your body what it needs to keep going, not just survive but thrive. The fourth mistake is ignoring your mood. People over 70 often overlook their mental state in the early hours. They may wake up feeling low, empty, or anxious, and they say, "Oh, it's nothing. It will pass." But depression does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. It sits quietly in the corner of the morning, waiting. Left unacknowledged, it grows. Research from the National Institute on Aging has shown that older adults who experience chronic morning sadness or anxiety have higher risks of heart disease, weakened immune systems, and even dementia. The link between mental and physical health becomes more intense with age. If your mornings feel heavy, that is not something to ignore. It is something to address with compassion. Create a morning ritual that lifts you. It could be 5 minutes of gentle stretching, sitting by a window with a cup of tea, listening to a favorite song, calling a friend, or simply practicing gratitude. 3 things you are thankful for. Speak them out loud. Let your mind know that even in the face of aches and losses, there is still joy, still reason, still life. And if that heavy feeling does not lift, please speak to someone, a doctor, a counselor, a trusted friend. Mental health is not a weakness. It is a vital part of your wellness. And healing can begin with just one conversation. Margaret, the woman I told you about earlier, made a few of these mistakes. She had been skipping breakfast for weeks, said food didn't taste the same anymore. She stood too fast one morning, got dizzy, and fell. The fall wasn't serious at first, but the hospital stay that followed brought complications. She became confused. She refused to eat. Her body weakened. And then one morning, she was gone. I share her story not to frighten you, but to awaken you. These are not big changes I'm asking you to make. They are small, steady, deeply human ones. Slow down when you rise. Drink water as your first gift to the day. Feed your body with nourishment, not just habits, and honor your emotions. They are not foolish. They are not petty. They are the signal flares your soul sends out. Pay attention to them. You have walked many years on this earth. You have seen joy and sorrow. You have laughed. You have cried. Your mornings matter more now than ever, because how you begin your day shapes how you live it, and how you live your days shapes the story of your life. Do not let that story be cut short by avoidable mistakes. You deserve better. You deserve mornings filled with strength, clarity, and peace. So tomorrow, when the light filters through your window, remember Margaret, remember me, and remember this truth. Every morning is a gift. Open it with care. The morning habits that saved my patient's life. I want to tell you a story about a patient of mine named Arthur. He is 83 years old today, but just 2 years ago, I was not sure he would make it to 82. When he first came to see me, he looked tired, not just physically, but deeply. His eyes had lost some of their brightness. His hands trembled just slightly and his voice was low. He told me he had been feeling weak in the mornings, dizzy, forgetful. Some days he would skip breakfast entirely. Others, he would grab a sweet roll and coffee and sit by the television for hours, too drained to move. He had fallen twice that year already. His wife had passed away not long before, and since then, everything in his life had lost its rhythm. He told me, "Doc, it's like I'm fading." Now I have met many people like Arthur, strong in spirit but worn down by the little things that slowly build up. At that age, the body speaks in whispers, a slight change in energy, a subtle fog in the mind. It's easy to brush these things off, but they are not harmless. They are warnings. And if we listen early enough, we can turn things around. That's what Arthur and I set out to do. We began with his mornings, not with medications, not with surgeries, just the way he started his day. The first thing I told Arthur to change was how he woke up. No more jumping out of bed. No more rushing to the kitchen. I explained that at his age, the heart and blood vessels take longer to adjust from lying down to standing. This is why many seniors feel dizzy or even faint in the morning. The medical term is orthostatic hypotension. It's incredibly common and incredibly dangerous. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that older adults with frequent episodes of this kind of low blood pressure are at a much higher risk for falls, fractures, and even cardiovascular events. I told Arthur to wake slowly, lie in bed for a minute, move his arms and legs, then sit up gently. Let the body catch up before he stood. Next, I asked him to drink a full glass of water before anything else. Not coffee, not juice, just plain water. The body loses moisture overnight through breathing and sweating, even when you do not realize it. At 81, Arthur's kidneys were not as efficient and his sense of thirst was not reliable. Mild dehydration might not feel like much, but over time, it thickens the blood, strains the heart, and increases the risk of stroke. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published findings showing that older adults who remained well hydrated had better heart function and fewer incidents of hospitalization. I told him, Arthur, that glass of water in the morning is not just a drink, it's medicine. Arthur also used to skip breakfast often, or worse, he'd eat something with sugar and no substance. I explained to him that after 70, the body loses muscle more quickly. This process, called sarcopenia, can lead to weakness, slower walking speed, and higher risk of falls. The only way to fight it is with movement and protein. A proper breakfast provides both fuel and protection. I encourage him to eat something rich in protein and fiber, eggs with vegetables, oatmeal with nuts, Greek yogurt with chia seeds, even a small protein shake if he had no appetite. A study in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging showed that older adults who consumed at least 25 grams of protein in their first meal of the day had better physical function and lower rates of frailty. I watched Arthur take that advice seriously. He started preparing simple but nourishing meals. He began to enjoy cooking again. It gave him a sense of control, of purpose. Then we worked on movement. Arthur had stopped walking in the mornings. He said he just felt too tired. But the irony is that the less you move, the more tired you feel. Muscles shrink, joints stiffen, energy dips. I asked him to start with 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes walking up and down his hallway, or outside if the weather allowed. Over time, that 5 became 10, then 15. Morning movement boosts circulation, helps regulate blood sugar, and improves mood. The National Institute on Aging has long emphasized that light physical activity in the morning can help prevent cognitive decline and depression in seniors. Arthur told me that those short walks began to feel like a conversation with the world again. He started to notice the birds, the trees, the light. But maybe the most important thing we changed was something harder to measure: his mindset. I encouraged Arthur to build a small moment of intention into his mornings, just 5 minutes of stillness. Not for prayer, unless he wanted that, but simply to breathe, reflect, and name one thing he was grateful for. It might sound simple, but gratitude has been shown in numerous studies to improve sleep, reduce inflammation, and even boost immune function. A study published in Psychosomatic Medicine found that older adults who practiced daily gratitude had lower levels of stress hormones and reported greater overall well-being. Arthur began keeping a small notebook. Each morning, he wrote down one line: "Today I am grateful for the sound of the rain," or "I am thankful I woke up pain-free." Over time, those small lines formed a kind of map, a quiet reassurance that even as life changes, there is still beauty to be found. Now, 2 years later, Arthur is still with us. He walks every day. He eats with purpose. He has not had a fall since that first visit. His mind is sharper. His eyes are brighter. And when he comes into my office, he says something I will never forget. He says, "Doc, I feel like I'm living again, not just surviving." And that is the power of morning habits. They are not flashy, they are not complex, but they are life-giving. They send a message to your body and your mind that you are still here, that you still matter, that today is worth waking up for. So if you are over 70 or someone you love is, do not underestimate the morning. Do not rush through it. It is the foundation of your entire day. Start slowly, drink water, eat well, move a little, and take a moment to remember something good. These are not just healthy practices, they are lifelines. Arthur's life did not change with a pill, it changed with a morning, and yours can too.